everyone, I am back with more DESTASH lots, and this time I will have 3 themed DESTASH lots of the items will be perfect for junk journals and crafting projects. So I'm going to try and go pretty quickly because I would like to get through all 3 lots. But the first lot is going to be a wedding bridal themed lot, and the majority of the items in the lot will be vintage, but I did add in a few extra things because I just felt like it needed a few additional items. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you will get some vintage music sheets. If I'm not mistaken, this is 1962. I could be wrong. This one is dated 1905, so this one is antique. I thought this was perfect to have to hold to love. And this one is 1963, I believe. You will also get some vintage wedding themed paper, wrapping paper. And this paper is really pretty. You will also receive this antique check. I had one extra, so I just threw it in. And more wedding paper. I'm not sure if this is vintage, but it could be. Probably 90s if I had to guess. And here is a vintage. We have this chipboard spoon. I think this is like a conversation game at get-togethers. What is the most romantic thing anyone has done for you? So I thought that was kind of appropriate for this particular lot. Here is, I believe this is 70s, and it looks like it from that photo. There's some really nice images in here. 1973. So I thought this would go nicely with this particular lot. And then I guess you could always use the book for a journal as well. That's a really pretty cover. These are a newer item, but I thought they would be cute. Here's a mixture of newer and vintage items. There's a couple of table place cards. Here's a vintage bridal shower invite. This is a newer item. Gemstones, I think it is, oh, I guess it is self-adhesive, so it is a sticker. Here's a few bridal games. Bridal shower bingo. And these, I think you could probably cut the bridal off and use these for any junk journal, really. Here is a trifold sheet, and this is actually one left over from my wedding. And this is almost vintage, even though it doesn't look like it. I have been married 17 years, so if you go by the 20-year rule, that is nearly vintage. Here's some vellum. And some stickers. Couple vintage envelopes, probably 90s I would guess, and these are more table place cards. A package of these little flowers. These are newer. Here's some vintage fabric. I love this fabric. And I'm not sure what this is. I think it is used to hold handkerchiefs, maybe. It was in with a box of handkerchiefs that I received from a family member, so I think that's what it is. And I don't know. I really don't know. But it is vintage, and it had a sticker with it that said made in Japan, so I don't know if that goes with it, but I'm leaving it with the little pouch. Then we have a bag of all sorts, and you'll get several vintage buttons. And I'm going to try to go through these pretty quickly. Here we have some vintage seam binding. Twill tape. Some trim. I guess this is ribbon. It's not fabric or cloth, but I threw that in. Here's some really pretty buttons. And more buttons. Here's a shell button. And some vintage lace. Here's a pretty jewelry piece. I think those are shell, I believe. Here's a piece of rhinestone trim. Oh, more rhinestone trim. And then some beautiful satin roses. Some more. And I thought that was really pretty. Little flower. This one looks like it's coming apart a little bit, but of course crafters are able to use anything. Here is an applique. It looks like this was probably taken off of a wedding dress. Here's a little rose. A piece, it looks like, of a wedding dress. More pieces from a wedding dress. And I think this lot would make a really pretty bridal memory book or something like that. Or of course you don't have to use the theme that I put it together for, but that was the idea I had going on in my mind. Then a couple of really cool things I saved for last. This is a Hallmark date book, and I don't believe it's been used, but I thought this was really cool. And I was tempted to keep this for myself, but I would just be hoarding it and probably would not get a chance to use it. So I thought I would offer it, but it is 1952, and I loved this. So I thought that was appropriate for this particular lot. And then the last thing is, I believe I saw a date somewhere, or maybe I just assumed because of the photos. Okay, 1963. It's a 1963 bridal coloring book. And I don't know that I would rip pages out. I don't know. Everybody has their own idea of what to do, but I bought it with the intentions of scanning the pages and sharing them, but a couple pages have been colored, but there's still quite a bit. It looks like just a few pages have been colored, but I thought that was just really neat. So that is the first lot. This lot will be 22 shipped. I may need to fold the music sheets to get them into the envelope, so we'll see once I package that up. But that's the first lot. Okay, so the second lot is going to be items to create a vintage baby junk journal. And this one will also be 22 shipped, so we'll go ahead and get started. This lot will have primarily vintage items, but you will get a few newer things like these stickers. And some of them have been used, but there's still a lot left in there. You will get one of these checks. I guess I had a couple left over, and I just threw them in with these lots. You'll get some satin ribbon. And it looks like I prepared this for a girl, but you could probably switch it up and use it for a boy with some blue ribbon or whatever color you want to use. Here is some snap fasteners, and I just thought this was really cute with the baby on there. Some more pink ribbon. Here is some velvet, I guess, ribbon or trim, and some more snap fasteners with the baby. Here's one with mom and baby. Then we have some vintage greeting cards, baby's first Valentine, and this one has been used, but she just signed her name right there in that little box, so there's quite a bit of room left on there. Here is another vintage greeting card, and this one says happy birthday niece, but of course you could cover that up or cut it off. Some vintage envelopes, and I thought this was really cool. It's a vintage package for a letter set, and I thought it would look cool somehow in a junk journal or used as a pocket or make some tags out of it or something. So I did not want to throw that away. Okay, here is an antique postcard. More vintage greeting cards. And just a nice stack of vintage greeting cards. This one has not been used. Here's a christening. Baby shower. Another one has not been used. And then we have a vintage book, The Happy Family, 1953 it looks like. So there's some really nice images in there. You will receive a pattern. I believe this is vintage. I thought I found a date of 80s or something on this, but I could be wrong. Okay, 1996. So if you go by the 20-year rule, that is vintage. You will get a stack of these vintage baby shower game sheets. So you will get all of those. Then you will get a stack of vintage wrapping paper. And all of these have not been opened. This one, they're all adorable, but I just really liked this one. Okay, here's another vintage button card. That one is really cute. And then I found this little hat and some little bibs I thought I would include. Some fabric. And then the last thing is going to be this vintage 1977 baby and child care booklet. I did use a few pages out of it, but the majority of the book is there, so I thought that would be really nice to include in some of the pages out of this book into a junk journal. There you have it. I think I will go ahead and stop at just these two lots. So if you are interested, send me an email. I will leave all the information in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching.